Honestly, guys, I could not think of an intro. So we're just gonna get into this, to be honest, because this is a hell of a chapter. Anyways, this is One Piece chapter 1110, titled Planetfall. Or should I say, Falling Stars. That just sounds cooler, you know? The falling stars, the elder stars. We're starting off with the cover page, and we see Momonosuke and Yamato, and Yamato's telling Momonosuke like, hey, I'm gonna travel all over Wano just like Odin did. And Momonosuke is just there like this. Like, really? You should have done this, like, since the Straw Hats left, but you're still here? And he's just giving her, like, the, oh, brother, look. Maybe we're gonna get her whole, you know, little adventure in Wano. That'd be pretty cool. The chapter starting literally where we left off last time. We got the black lightning. Now remember, this is actual visible black lightning. It's not like hockey, where, you know, hockey lightning comes out and nobody can see that. People can actually see this because we see a bunch of marine battleships. We see the giraffe that Dahl and Bluegrass were riding. And everybody's like, what the hell? Black lightning? What the hell is going on? Like, holy shit, this is insane. And Bluegrass is actually like, what in the world is happening? We get a bunch of like Marines, and they're just saying like, isn't that how Saint Saturn arrived? Like, wasn't there like a giant black magic circle with lightning and shit like coming from the island? And then we get like the scruffy giant with the beard, and he's kind of just chilling with like, this is a funny reference, I gotta use Gojo. He has Frankie in his arms like a toy, kind of like this, and then he has Bonnie as well, and they just look like toys, like he's holding toys. And that looks adorable. So we cut away, and we see an arrow, and it's like flying crazy fast, hits a marine ship, boom, marine ship explodes. We see like 3 giants, we see a pacifista, they're all, you know, destroying the battleships. And we cut away, we see Dory and Broggy, and we see 2 giants behind them, and then we have like onomatopoeia, maybe like a doom, doom, you know, because the giants are here. And it seems like Broggy's like smiling, like he's just happy. And then we cut away, and we see the Holy Land of Marijois. We see Castle Pangea. And remember, the message that Vegapunk was gonna say is still broadcasting, so they're still doing shenanigans. And I thought this was hilarious, because Shaka's like, Stella, what is this? And we see the Room of Authority. And in the Room of Authority, there's a giant black magic circle. I couldn't really tell if there was like numbers in the black magic circle or not. But we see the giant transponder snail, the visual transponder snail. And it's showing the, you know, the message. And we get like a commercial ad from Vegapunk where he's like, this Shaka, this is the answer to everyone's dreams. And he's like, with a drop of this tube, you could turn any cup of water, mug of water, you know, and anything of water into delicious brew. And by brew, I mean coffee. We call it Vega Coffee. So like, how many minutes did that kill? And they're just doing like a commercial ad, and I thought that was hilarious. They're just kind of like talking about random shit. Shaka, I think, goes on and says, it wasn't exactly a strict deadline, but we still have 7 minutes. I think that's good enough. Let's just start the broadcast. As he says that, we get epic badass music, you know, anime music. We see the 4 dark magic summoning jutsu circles. On one of them, it actually has a 4 on it. The very one to the left, there's a 3. So I assume the other 2 have a 2 and a 1. Now, people were saying, actually, I'll get to this after I, you know, whatever. We'll get to it in a bit. Luffy's like, what the? Because he's standing in front of Saint Saturn, remember? He was like bouncing. And we get more dialogue from Vegapunk, and he's like, even if they try to silence our broadcast, that amount of extra time won't be long enough for them to stop us. So he's like, even if, you know, like there's 5 minutes left, I don't think that's enough for someone to actually fucking stop the message at this point, if they haven't stopped it yet. And we see Sanji. And Sanji's like, oh shit, oh my god, oh hell no, we gotta get the fuck out of here, this is bad, I gotta let Nami know, I gotta let them know ASAP that we gotta get out of here. And Luffy's eyes, like, they're not popping out of his head, but he's like, holy crap, there's 5 of you? Which is hilarious. Now, we get the introductions of what they are. First, we have the 5th one, the one that arrived first, which is Saint Saturn. You know, Saint J. Garcia Saturn, the Gyuki. And I'm gonna go off because the translators were very nice and they actually provided us with a few contexts of what these creatures are. A Gyuki is a spider yokai famous for its giant cow-like face. They attack people on the beach, and that's, you know, a little summarized context. Next, we get the Itsumare. It's Saint Marcus Mars, you know, the one with the giant beard and the mustache. And Itsumare is a creepy bird yokai with a human face and a snake-like body. Right? That's basically what he is. Because we see amorphous blobs, but we can't see them yet. So we're just getting a little info of what they are. Next, we have the Hoki, which is Top Man War Curry, the one with the, you know, with the mustache. Now, as I'm saying, this is 5-4. We're going down to 3, right? They're getting a little younger, if you think about it. A Hoki is a monstrous boar from Chinese folklore, famous for terrorizing the countryside. Right? So he's like a giant boar. And then we get to Ethan Nosejuro. You know, whatever. Ethan Baron Nosejuro, whatever. He's a Bakotsu. Now this one is, a Bakotsu is a skeletal yokai that is said to be the spirit of a horse that burned to death. And, I mean, that's number 2. Next, we get Saint Shepherd Jupiter. Jupiter. I always want to say Jupiter when I say his damn name. He's a sandworm. And what this is, a sandworm is a mythical serpent or a legless dragon that appears in numerous modern fantasy franchises. It could also be related similar creatures in the works of like Dune. You know, like that giant, you know, freaking worm thing. This is a double page spread. It's awesome because we see the faces of what they are and they all look kind of gross. And it's funny because after looking at this for like actually looking at them, War Curry actually looks the most similar because he turns into like a giant boar, but the tusks, he has like 4 tusks now, and the tusks look like his mustache. And I thought that's just hilarious. We cut to this amazing double page spread where we get the 5 Gorosei and it says, Supreme Overseers of the World Government, the 5 Elder Planets. And we see Saint Saturn in the middle. We see Ethan to the left. He's like a giant, like skeleton horse thing with like a probably that's probably his skin like burning off. And then we get the giant boar. He has 4 tusks coming out of his mouth. We have the giant mythical bird thing, the Itsumare, and then we have the giant like worm thing. And I thought this was funny because I saw a comment and they said he looked like the worm from the SpongeBob and the Courage the Curly Dog episodes. Ethan, you know, Nosejuro immediately wastes 0 seconds after transforming and getting there. I mean, he just looks like a horse, like a skeleton horse with like chunks of meat like coming off of him. And he's like, nay, and he like neighs or whatever. I think he uses observation hockey or he's just running fast as shit because he goes from where they're at to the coast in a matter of seconds, bro. Kind of like Kizuru. He shows up next to a pacifista and we can see him transforming again into a hybrid form. And he's getting closer and closer, and as he gets closer, he slashes the pacifista, and we get this cool freaking action shot where he's doing like the, you know, the rear, the hind legs, they go up with the horse when they like do the neigh thing, and he just whooshing in the top of him. It's his body, but he looks like a centaur, and he looks freaking cool because he has, oh yeah, also he has a freaking black blade, which is even crazier. So the Marines are like, wait, something happened. The pacifista isn't doing anything. So what's going on? Another double page spread. We see Ethan running fast as shit, dude. Just icing all of the pacifistas over and over and over. And they're like, did you see that? There was a large horse spotted on the coastline. They're like, a large horse? What the hell are you talking about? We're fucking in war. And then they all mention, the pacifistas on this have not stopped. They're like, yeah, same here. Wait, are those slash marks? They're like, no, they just been frozen. And then we see Sanji. And he's like, Nami, Robin, anyone? Can you please hear me? It's hard to explain what's going on down here, but like, we gotta stop wasting time. Because shit is getting real and fast. We gotta get out of here ASAP. And they're like, huh, Sanji, what's going on? And then a bunch of like Marines are like, She was heading toward the northeast shore with the Straw Hat crew. Half the pacifistas have been neutralized. And we see the top view, which is an amazing shot. We see Marcus Mars in his like Itsumare. Wait, that's what it's called, right? Yeah, Itsumare form. And we see like the long snake-like body with the wings. And then on the bottom, like very tiny, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We see 6 pacifistas on the coastline because we see these ships and shit too. And Nozuro's just freezing all of them, dude. Now think about this. He always looked a little odd compared to the other, Gorosei. He always had that kimono and he was always holding that sword. So it's like we assumed he knew how to use that sword, but it's like his speed is insane. And Sanji's like, Nami, just focus on escaping. Usopp, whoever the hell is talking to me right now, I think it's Nami. And he's like, a literal monster is flying up to you guys. You guys gotta run, and you need to leave, like, now. Like, get the fuck out now. And then, this is funny. I don't know how to take this, because I'm a little confused by this, just a little bit. We see Marcus Mars, and like I said, he was flying up to the Labo stratum, the Labo phase, whatever. And there's the barrier that's covering, Punk Records and all that crap. He dives head first like a freaking mosquito, and it seemed like a bzzz, and you just hear like a boom. Now, did he go through, or did he kind of like get stuck? Like, like he hits the wall. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know what happened here. I'm pretty sure he went through. I mean, he's a fucking giant yokai bird thing. So, yeah. Anyways, we get more Nozduro. And he's just hacking and slashing at all these pacifistas. And he's using a freeze ability. Now, that is rather interesting. And I'll talk about it in a little bit. Because people have been mentioning that the next chapter is 1-1-1-1. And, Zoro's... it's all ones with him as well. So it's like, they gotta fight. But I'm like, no. I don't think they're gonna fight yet. Like, there's no way they're gonna fight. Because I feel like Oda's just teasing us, He's like, oh yeah, these guys are no joke. Especially this guy. Nozuro, he's the real deal. Because he is insanely fast. And he's just hacking and slashing with the sword. And he has like a freezing ability. So it's like, what the fuck? He's a skeleton. He turned into a centaur. And he's a giant centaur, so it's like, dude, that's why I don't see them fighting. I just don't. I don't feel like they're gonna fight. Now we cut away back to where the other Gorosei are. We see the Hoki there, we see the yokai, and we see the worm. And I don't know if he says this, but he says slither or something, and he starts burrowing into the floor. And then like Saint Jay Garcia's like trying to stab Luffy, and he's like, whoa, woo, and he's like dodging him. And Luffy looks and he sees that the worm is diving, and he's like, what the heck? He's digging like a worm. I mean, Luffy, can't you tell that he's a giant worm? Why are you so surprised that it's a worm? Anyways, this is the good part too. Sanji, Usopp here will be sure to run. But Zoro and Jinbei aren't back yet. We've met up with Brook and Lilith, and the ship's good to go. And then we see Lilith, and she's kicking Brook, because Brook is like, see, I told you it'd work out. He's like, it's thanks to Usopp, not to you. And she's like pissed off, and she's like kicking him. And Chopper is there. We see Nami there, best girl, obviously. Looks beautiful, like always. And then we see Jinbei. And Jinbei's like, alright, sounds like the situation is quite dire. If he's still fighting, I'm going to bring him back by force. I don't care. I'm bringing back Zoro by force. So, Dad Jinbei's off to the rescue. Go, Dad Jinbei. Now, we actually cut away another double page spread to Lucci versus Zoro. It seems like Lucci attacked Zoro, and Zoro's sword went flying up in the air. And Lucci's like, isn't it tempting to go find the source of all this strong hockey? And Zoro's like, yeah, that shit's popping up everywhere. Like, this is a little weird. And Jinbei's on his way there. Sanji's like, yo, sorry Jinbei, we gotta leave it all up to you. And then he's like, oh, there they are. They're still going at it. And Sanji's like, that damn moss head. He's putting everyone in danger by stalling like this. He's like, what a burden. And Jinbei's getting close, and I think Zoro heard that, because he's like, this fucking curly brows. Oh, this is what I'm gonna do to you next time I see you. And the sword that was flying up in the air, he catches it as Lucci uses a new move called Spotted Handgun. And he kind of like dodges out of the way and grabs the sword like this. And he's like, Santoryu. And he puts the third sword in his mouth. And he says, Spotted Leopard Hahava Hunt. And then you just see this cool shot where Zoro just slices down Lucci in one attack. And we get another detail from the translators, thank you guys, where it says Zoro's move references Kokoba Hahava, the coldest hell in Buddhism. The meaning boils down to leopard hunt, but he pronounces leopard as Madara, spotted, to play off of Lucci's move. So, because Lucci said, you know, spotted handgun, so he used spotted leopard, you know, because, yeah. So we get a new move, and there is hockey coming out of it, like we see Black Lightning. So he's using hockey against them, and yeah. And yeah, that was freaking sick. Lucci's bleeding. There's blood coming out of his mouth. Jinbei's like, oh shit, he actually got him. And we just see Zoro like, with like Conqueror's hockey or whatever that is coming out of him. Armament. Now we cut away to Luffy. Luffy looks down. Final double page spread of the chapter. Luffy looks down. He's like, what the? The giant worm comes up above, or from down, you know, from burrowing. He looks down, he's like, oh crap. Boom, chomps down on Luffy. And then we see two gusts running towards Luffy. And we hear, ah, you know, because Luffy just got ate. And Broggy's like, did you see him? And Dory's like, what a nostalgic face. And they both say it at the same time. A dark belly is no place for someone like that. Let's go! And then we get this awesome shot where, let's say this is like the like, you can see that, right? The lines. Let's say that's like the worm coming up and this is the mouth. We see Dory and Broggy, and they both use a move called Child of the Sawing Sun. Now, we get another translator note which says, Dory and Broggy's move name means Sawing Sun. But the furigana makes it sound like Child of the Sun, making it almost seem like a continuation of the dialogue about darkness being no place for Luffy. So it's kind of like a pun, you know, in Japanese, you know, for Oda. Oda likes his puns. And kind of like this, you see where the first line's at on my finger and the second one? They literally cut the worm like this and like this. And Broggy with his axe, Dory with his sword, and Luffy doesn't, he kind of knew this was going to happen because he's in his pose like this. He's like, yeah, and he's like laughing his ass off and he's like, that was a close one. And dude, we finally get the reunion of Dory and Broggy with Luffy. The old timer giants are here too. And you see this giant smile on Luffy's face. And we see Broggy and he's like, ba 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 ba. It's been a long time, Straw Hat. And he has the giant smile on his face too. And we see Dory and he's like, we had to come see you, Luffy. He's like, we've been waiting around. It was just getting unbearable. We had to come get you. And he's like, yeah. End of chapter. No break next week. Holy crap, guys. I mean, there's so many stuff here. I mean, we got introduced to the yokais. You know, we know what they are now. The Gorosei. I mean, those Zoro, we got to talk about that. Now, I did research the yokai before I wanted to make this video. Or before the chapter even came out, because I saw the spoilers for it, so I wanted to research some yokai. And I had zero luck finding anything that resembled these things, because maybe you need some Japanese, you know, like knowledge. Or maybe, I mean, the Hoki is a Chinese folklore, you know, yokai, so I would have never found that. But when I was reading stuff, I came upon this thing called an umibozo. Now, umibozo? I don't know. Now, I'm pretty sure other people know what this is because, you know, they've researched the One Piece. They've been making videos for longer than me. But when I found this really interesting because it actually looks like Im. Like if, go on Google right now and type in umibozo and then look at the images and then type in Im and compare and contrast. They look quite similar. And then we see like the big beast form and that's kind of like what Im transformed into. So maybe Im actually has like a mythical called the umibozo. So maybe that's the thing. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And I'm pretty sure other people know that. But I did it. So, and I found this on my own. So I thought that was awesome. But yeah, that's the chapter. I might make a follow-up video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. What's going to happen in the next chapter. And I'll see you guys next time on chapter 11111111. or whatever. Peace out.